I'm Chris Stone and I'm talking to you from my farm in Sussex, which is called Tattleton, and I live here with my family and horses and dogs, and it's a very pretty part of the world. I found out about Baystar through an interview in the Country Landowners Association magazine, which talked about renewable energy. Well, we were heating the original house before this new build house via an oil heated system. And when we built the new house, we looked at a variety of different systems and ended up choosing the lake source heating system. So the easy choice for me to go renewable was the availability of a lake. Now, I understand that not everybody has a lake, but it so happens that I've got one just outside the house, and it just was a very easy decision to make use of that. So the disruption involved in digging in conventional ground source wasn't there for me because we already had the lake. We just dropped the coils into the lake, and of course, because it was a new build house, we planned in the source of the heating source from the beginning, so there wasn't too much disruption. The problem with trying anything new is, if you're an early adopter of any technology, you can often find out things don't work quite as well as you'd hoped. But so far it's worked extremely well. So the payback on the system for me has been really good. As this is my home, I'm paying the energy bills out of my personal income. I don't really have an opportunity to offset those costs against any business costs. And so whatever cost there is for me is out of my after-tax income. So any savings I can make have a big impact because it reduces by a lot the amount of money I have to go and earn. When we were considering the heating options, obviously there is a significant upfront cost to installing the heat exchange system that we've put in. And looking at the original figures, we thought we were going to have something like a 5 to 6 year payback on the investment. In fact, the way it's performed ahead of expectation, and I'm looking at more like a 3.5 year payback, which turns into something like a 30 to 35% return on investment, and I can't get that anywhere else. So the big surprise is how well it works and kind of the consequential or unthought through benefits of having the system. So because it's always there, I don't turn the lake on and off. The lake is always there. The heat system is always there, and it really makes no difference to the operating cost whether it's running or not. So a big side benefit as a father of 3 teenagers is my kids can have as many showers with windows wide open and all the heating blaring as they like, because it makes actually no difference to my costs. And it makes no difference to the environment either, because we're not doing anything that isn't just happening all the time. My relationship with Baystar is primarily through Tessa and Johnny. Tessa, helped me when we were putting the designs together, and she came up with the numbers around it to help me think through the payback, the return on investment, and that was helpful. Obviously, I have no time or enthusiasm to go through the details of the renewable heat incentive scheme and understanding how all that works. She took all of that bit away for me and did it, so that was very helpful. And then Johnny led the installation, and he was he got it done. He was very respectful of working. This is a working farm. I mean, we can't stop life just to do an implementation, and he was very respectful of the fact that other people needed to do their jobs and that he had to fit in with what else was going on, and that all went well. If you're thinking about making this kind of investment, the things that you should have in mind are risk of regulatory change is always there. So in my commercial life, I have some investments in solar farms, and the driver there is the change in the subsidies that we get from the government, and that changes every year. And I'm sure there will be changes with renewable heat incentives every year. And so if you're thinking of doing it and the economics work at the time that you're looking at a plan, I think you just need to pile in and get it done, because you never quite know what the government is going to do next. Secondly, the single biggest thing to bear in mind is allocation of capital. And I know that that sounds a bit technical, but for me, you know, I have money to invest, and the return on investment on this scheme has been, as a return, the best I've made in the last 10 years in the various things I invest in. Sadly, it's I can't figure out a way of making it work on a bigger scale so that I could run it as a national business. But the return on investment with a better than 30% internal rate of return is just amazing. So you should just get on with it, because you're not going to get it anywhere else. So yeah, I'd happily recommend them. And if anybody wants to talk to me about them, happy to have a quick chat on the phone.